Okay, so everybody should now be able to see our home screen, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So this is the new system home screen. When you first log in, you will be able to see your checking and savings accounts and loans and everything like that. Just to kind of start it off, everything will migrate over with the settings that you have now, as far as your accounts that you have access to, the users that are all enrolled for this system. Those will all migrate over. All of the payments will migrate over as well. And all of your categories or templates will be in there. User settings are all going to be migrated as well. Just a quick shout out to our team. We've been working on this for quite a long time to get everything migrated over and tested. So we just really wanted to highlight our treasury management client services team and all the work that they have done as far as getting all the testing done, making sure that all the data and everything gets migrated over correctly. Thank you to everyone on that team and everyone within the Macatawa Bank organization that has helped with this transition. So with that, we'll go ahead and jump into it here. So on our home screen now, there are a couple different views that you can choose from. Some of our customers that have many different accounts, you might want to choose to see your home screen a little bit differently and set priority accounts. And some of those customers that only have a few accounts, you can set it to view all of your accounts on the home screen right away. So because our test account only has a couple, I have it set to show all of my accounts right away. And you'll see the groups of checking and loans here. To change the settings, if you want to set priority accounts on your home screen, you can go to the settings menu and go to your home page preferences. And you'll see that there are some widgets here. If you turn on this account list, and if we go back to our home screen, now it's going to show me only the priority accounts that I have set up. And then to view the rest of my accounts, I can click this View All Accounts tab here. And then it would show me all of the accounts that I am enrolled for, and they will all be listed here. To turn on and off additional accounts, you would just click on the star next to the account. And then the next time I would navigate away and come back to the home screen, then it's going to show me those accounts that I have starred. And then if I want to turn this off and see all my accounts on my home page right away, I can go back to my home page preferences. I can turn off my account list. And now when I go back to my home screen, I can see all of my accounts listed on the screen right away. Another thing within the home screen, you have full customization to move these accounts around. You can create new groups. So if I grab my money market here, I can put this into a brand new group. And you'll notice now it's created a new group. So I can rename this just money market. And I can save that. And now my money market is in a separate group from the rest of my checking and loan accounts. And I can grab these accounts and I can turn them on and off. So if I want to collapse groups, you can do that. So you can only see certain groups at a time. Or if you want to move any of your accounts back together, you can just click and drag, put those accounts back into the same groups, and I can go ahead and delete that group that I just made. And so now my checking accounts and money market are back together. You'll notice Throughout the system, there's an options or a more actions button. There's some features that are going to be turned on within each option button that you can do from the various tabs. So clicking on the account here, I can choose to either view my activity, I can make a quick transfer, I can nickname this account, or I can view additional details, and I can do that directly from my home screen here. If we want to just go ahead and click into one of the accounts to view the activity, we can do that. And then it's going to load up our transaction history here. And it's going to show me all of the transactions that I have listed on the account below here. One thing within the new system that we wanted to highlight is you are used to seeing all of your deposit tickets or check items and things like that. But now within deposits, you are able to view the items that were deposited. So if we click on a deposit here, there's a More Details tab here. We can go ahead and click on More Details, and then it's going to show us all of the items that were within that deposit. And then I can just click on one of those deposited items, and it's going to bring up the image for me to view. And a lot of customers have asked for this, and so we're excited to be able to bring that with the new system to be able to offer viewing deposited items. And then with that, transaction history, currently it is 12 months worth of history, but now we will have 18 months worth of history that's going to be within the transaction history section here. So for those customers that are doing a year-end review, come January, February, you can go back and get the entire year of 2020 with having that 18 months worth of view instead of just 12 now. Off to the right-hand side, there are some additional icons here that you can use to search or filter. So it defaults to the search tab here that you can turn on. You can type in a description, you can search for a check number, different things like that, and it will filter those transactions that fit that search description. There's a filter button here. You can filter down by time period, by description, transaction type, and then you can also search for dollar amounts, or you can search by check number here as well. The next tab over we have is a quick transfer. If you select that, you'll be able to make a quick transfer between the accounts that you're looking at and your other accounts here. We have the export feature, so you can export your transaction history. You can export that to CSV or Excel type files. And then additionally, we have the options or more actions button here. You can print out your transactions, or you can ask a question. The Ask a Question feature is a new feature within this system. What this is going to do is it will create a secure message, and you can ask a question about an account, or you can ask a question about a transaction. So if we jump back to the transactions here and search for one, if I was unsure on what a transaction was and I wanted to ask the bank, you obviously can feel free to call us or email us like you typically do. But we now do have this option to where you can ask a question that will create a secure message, and it will have the details of that particular transaction within the message that gets sent to us here at the bank. And then you can add an additional memo and add your question there. And then that will be routed to the correct department within the bank, and we can follow up with you via the secure message system. This will be separate from an email that is typical. This is going to be a secure messaging system that is built into online banking now that we'll utilize for those questions and things like that. If we jump back to our Home tab, another thing to highlight here at the bottom of the Home tab is this Reports. We will touch on this in just a little bit, but you can now create some extra reporting. There's custom reports that you can build, different things like that. You can save those as favorites, and then you can view those directly from your Home tab here. Another thing on the Home tab is the Widgets column or the Quick Access pane. You'll see that Transfer Money Now is an option because I have Quick Transfer turned on for my widgets. So I can click on that and I can be loaded directly into the internal transfer page here. And as we kind of start to build out this system, we will add some additional widgets and different things that you can add here. Another thing to highlight within this quick action pane is for customers that utilize dual approval for your transactions. Whenever a transaction is drafted, when the approver logs in, they will see those transactions listed here, and they can quickly click on those to go to the Activity Center, and so they can approve those transactions. And then moving over, speaking of the Activity Center, if we go to the Transactions tab here and we load up our Activity Center. So the Activity Center is a new module within online banking. Previously, you would go to like your pending transactions or your transaction activity to view your internal transfers or ACH or wire activity. Here, we have it condensed within the Activity Center. So this will be all of your transactions that you originate online that you can view from this module here. You'll notice that there are tabs at the top: single transactions, recurring transactions, and mobile deposited checks. So for the single transactions, this would be your one-off payments, or if you did have a recurring transaction, the single transactions tab would show the next payment that is going to be going out within that recurring batch. Recurring transactions, as we mentioned, this is going to show you anything that you have set up as a recurring transfer or ACH or wire. And then the mobile deposited checks. If you do utilize our mobile deposit, you can view your mobile deposit history here. If we jump back to single transactions, we'll kind of take you through the Activity Center and how to use that. So similar to the transaction screen within the account, there's a search pane that you can search for a particular transaction. And then we also have a filter option. So within the filter option, you can select various transaction types. So if I select ACH disbursement, I'm going to get some additional filter that I can put on. Because I selected disbursement, I will also have these columns to display. So you will be able to choose up to 6 different columns that will then show below the filter section here. So if I wanted to see when my next ACH disbursement is going to be effective, I could take off this create date and I can turn on effective date and I can choose apply. It's going to refilter those, and then I will be able to see the next effective date for the transactions that are an ACH disbursement type, and it's going to tell me the account and dollar amount since I have those columns selected. So you can go ahead and choose any of these different things to make filters, and then you can save those as a quick search or a quick filter. So if you click on the star, you can go ahead and save these. And then when you want to quickly jump between them, You can just click on your saved searches, and now it's going to show me just payroll. I can go back to my favorites. I can choose domestic wires, and then it's going to filter down to just the domestic wires that I have put through on the system. So that is the single transactions tab under the Activity Center. Recurring transactions is going to be very similar to that. You can select your transaction types and create filters. And if I just show all, then it's going to show me all my recurring transactions there. On the single and recurring, there's also an option to print the screen, so you can print out the details of the transactions that are shown, or you can export that history from this button here as well. Moving down within the Transactions tab, internal transfers. So to make transfers between your accounts that are held here at Macatawa Bank, you can click on the internal transfers, and then you can set up your transfer here. You can choose your from and to account, your dollar amount, choose your frequency, select your transfer dates, and then you can put through a memo if you'd like. And once all that is set, you can go ahead and click on Transfer Funds, and it will schedule that transfer for you, or it will do it in real time if you want it a one-time transfer. Next one is the loan payment form. So this is a new form within the new system here. Currently, you're used to going to the transfers section to make payments to your loans. Now you will go to this loan payment screen. Benefit of utilizing this loan payment screen is now when I go ahead to set up a loan payment, as soon as I choose my loan or line of credit to make a payment to, I'm going to get these additional loan details right under the loan number here. So rather than going back and forth between your home screen and the Transactions tab to see information about your loan, as soon as you choose it here from the drop-down, you're going to get that additional information right on the screen. And then you can select your payment type, regular payment, principal only, different things like that, set up your amounts, and you can go ahead and submit a loan payment to us that way. Bill pay is going to live under the Transactions tab. For those customers that utilize our bill pay, that's where you would go to log into the bill pay service. And then wire activity, this is the last thing under Transactions. You can select an account and you can create a report to view your domestic wire activity within that account as well. Moving over into the Commercial tab. The Commercial tab is going to house all of your ACH and wire payments, as well as your recipients. And you will also notice this ACH returns and NOCs, or notifications of change. So rather than getting those return or notifications of change through document delivery, you're now going to load up this ACH returns and NOCs module, and you're going to see those reports listed in there. From the Commercial tab, if we select one of our ACH types, it's going to then take us to the Payments screen, and it's automatically going to load up any templates that you have for that selected transaction type. So since I selected payroll from the Commercial tab, it's automatically going to show me the payroll templates that I have listed here. You can quickly change between your transaction type templates by clicking on the links here. So I can go to my disbursements, wires, back to my payroll. And then if I'd like to view all, you can just click on the all filter, and that's going to show me all of the templates that I have set up here. From the payments screen, you can either select a new payment to start a brand new payment from scratch. On the right-hand side, you can create brand new templates by clicking on the Create Template link here. Or you can edit or pay any of your existing templates by clicking on the Actions button. And I can pay, edit, I can copy. So if I have a template that has recipients in it that I want to create a new template, but keep those same recipients, I can copy that. Or I can click on Delete and remove that template. So let's go ahead and try to pay and set up a payroll ACH. So if I select my hourly payroll, I can go ahead and click on Pay. And then it's going to load up the payroll transaction screen here. Now to note, with payroll and disbursements are going to act a little bit differently. Within the payroll module, you will be able to set up splits. So if a recipient or employee has multiple accounts and they would like their payroll split, you can do that via this payroll transaction function. And I'll show you that here in a second. But we'll show you just kind of a basic payroll and how to set that up first. So because I chose a template, it's automatically going to select the account that I want my payroll to come out of. So all I have to do is enter a different company entry description or the description that will go out with the payment. It's preset to payroll since I typed that in my template. I can then choose my effective date of when I want to pay this. And then if I scroll down, I'll see my recipients from the template here. Now I can either highlight their dollar amounts and I can type that in there, or the system will allow you to import amounts. So if I click on this Import Amounts link from the top, I can click on my hourly payroll dollar amounts. Go ahead and open that. And then it's going to load up and input all of those amounts for those recipients there. Now to get an import like that for amounts, you'd want that to be in a 2-column CSV format. So if we hover over the little question next to import amounts, it will tell you that you do need to have that Excel in a CSV format. And the first column will be your recipient name as it shows on the screen. And then your second column is the dollar amount that you're going to be paying them. Now that's just for importing amounts. We do have, if you're creating a new payment, something like that, you can upload from a file. I will go ahead and show you what that's going to look like. So if I go back and cancel out of this, and I can start a brand new payroll. So now that I'm not in a template, I'm going to have some different things that I need to do. Upload from file, as I noted, is going to be in the upper right-hand corner. And within the system, by standard, you have your NACHA formatted file or ACH formatted file, or a 5-column CSV. The system will also give you this option to create a custom mapping. So if you were to click on New Mapping here, you'll select your Excel file that has your recipient information in it with their name and account and routing information, dollar amounts, and then account type. You can choose that, and then you can set up a custom mapping that you can then save. So for this one, if I wanted to choose my NACHA or ACH formatted file, I can go ahead and click on that. It's going to show me on the screen here the upload guidelines for the different types of files. You can also get a sample of what that sample file needs to look like by clicking on this little link here, and it will download a test file for you there. So then from here, I can click on my import file. I can then choose my Nacha formatted text file, and I can open that. And then I'm going to get the option to either save the recipients that are within this file, or I can just upload this file as it is. So if I go ahead and upload this file, it's then going to read my Nacha file, and then it's going to pull in the information directly from that Nacha file. So you'll notice SEC code. I'll highlight that. That is something that is going to be a little bit different within the new system. Because I had PPD, which would be payments out to a person, selected within that Nacha file. It's already pre-selected. If they are going to be payments out to a company, then you would see a CCD, and I can go back a screen and I can show you what that would look like. So when you're setting up a payment from scratch, you would want to select the SEC code. So then going back to my upload from file, it's going to grab my company entry description from the file. I can select the account that I want this from because this is an unbalanced file. So I did not have my account that I'm paying from within that. So I can select that here. It's going to grab the effective date from the file, and then it's going to import my recipients with their account and routing, account type, and amount. And then I can either draft or approve here. And we'll touch on that in a second. I wanted to go back to disbursements and show you that difference between SEC codes. So if we're going to go ahead and create an ACH disbursement or collection, you'll notice now that this SEC code is here, like I had mentioned. So again, if I'm going to be paying a person, I would select PPD. If I'm going to be paying a company, I would select CCD from the drop-down list here. So now let's go ahead and draft a payment, and I'll show you what that looks like. So again, if I go back, I know I have a payroll test file, so I can go ahead and pay my hourly payroll from my templates here. And again, I can choose to import my amounts. So I'll select my hourly payroll amounts, and it's going to load those amounts on the screen. Choose my effective date here. And then for companies that utilize dual approval, and the first person wants to draft that transaction, they can click on draft. So then I'm going to process that payment, and it's going to give me a notice that says that that transaction is drafted. Gives me my transaction ID, the number of recipients within my payment, and the total dollar amount of my batch here. From here, I can select to either notify my approvers, I can close this window, or I can view in the Activity Center. If I wanted to notify any approvers, so for the approvers within the system, they can sign up for a mobile delivery option, and then I can select that person that's going to be approving the batch from the list of approvers here, and I can go ahead and click on send, and then it will send that person a notice, and it'll say that there's a drafted transaction waiting for them to approve. I can just go ahead and close out of this window here, and then it's going to take me back to this payment screen so I can set up another payment if I'd like. For those that do not have dual approval, if you have full authorization to make a payment, we'll go ahead and we'll load up this payment file one more time. choose my effective date again. And now if I have approval, I can just click this Approve button here. It's going to process my payments. And then as you're used to seeing the one-time PIN, you will be required now to do a secure access code. It's the same thing as a one-time PIN. We just refer to it a little bit differently within this new system. So then I can choose my either text me or call me options here. So I can choose one of those. The system will then send me that code. Go ahead and enter the code on the screen here. And then just click on Verify here. It's going to verify that secure access code. And then it's going to tell me now that my transaction has been approved. And again, I can see my transaction ID, the number of recipients, and the total dollar amount that were within that batch. So if I wanted to go and view that one in the Activity Center, now it's going to automatically load up that exact transaction within that Activity Center that we had highlighted under that Transactions tab here. And I can see additional details here. So you can either see those there. You can click on More Actions. From More Actions within the Activity Center, I can choose to cancel out this payroll. I can send an inquiry message. I could copy that, or I can print the details here. So I can go ahead and cancel this one out. And then it's going to give me a notice. It's going to ask me, are you sure you want to cancel your payment? We go ahead and click on Confirm. And the screen will then change and it will give me a notice. And it will show me that now my transaction has been canceled. And again, it will show me the transaction ID and the batch total here. And now when I look at it within my Activity Center, the status shows as canceled for that transaction. So that's the process of setting up an ACH. We'll kind of move down the list. Setting up your recipients. So I did set this up prior to the demo. So you will see now that I have some recipients that are added in the system. So again, all of your current recipients that you have in the system now will be migrated over to the new system. And you'll be able to see that information within the Recipients tab here. So from here, I can go to that More Actions. I can make any edits to my recipients. I can delete recipients, or I can bring up this payment history. Payment history is a nice feature within this new system. If I load up my payment history on a specific recipient, it's then going to show me a report of all of the payments that I have made to this recipient. And a lot of customers have asked for a simpler way to find payments that they have made to a particular person or company. So this payment history button here will give you that report right away. If I wanted to create a brand new recipient, I can click on the New Recipient button from the top here. It's going to bring up the Add Recipient screen. So here I can type in a display name. So the display name is going to be, it could be a nickname that you want to see within the system, or it could be the actual name on the account that you're going to be sending that transaction to. So we can just fill in a name here. You can add an email address here if you would like. And then if we scroll down, this is where now you're going to set up their transaction information. You'll see payment type listed here. I can choose from ACH only, wire only, ACH and wire, or wage garnishment that is available within the system. If I choose ACH and wire, my ACH information will be at the top, and then my wire information will be down below here. we now do have a financial institution search. This will help you in filling out this form here. You can search by bank name. You can search by routing number. So if we type in Macatawa Bank, it's going to find our bank information. And if I click on that from the drop-down list, now it's automatically going to pre-fill the routing number information, and it's going to pre-fill the wire information for your recipient. So now all you'll have to do is input the account type. So if I click on here, we can choose checking, savings, and now loan. So loan was not an option within our current online banking. So within the new system, loans will be an option that you can make payments to. So anything outside of Macatawa Bank, you can go ahead and select a loan and make a payment to an outside loan as well. I can input my account number for my recipient. And now that my ACH section is done, I can scroll down and I can see the wire information here. For your wire recipient, if you did utilize the FI lookup, as I said again, it's going to pre-fill for the beneficiary information here, or you can manually type that information in as well. If a recipient needs an intermediary for a wire transfer, you'll put in the intermediary in this section here, and then you can just click the check mark, and that will save the account information. So now you'll see my account information is saved, and you'll notice this little green bar right here. This bar turns different colors. Now that it's green, I know that everything has been input correctly, and so it turns green to know that it has accepted all of my changes as a legitimate account and routing information for the banks. And then here at the bottom, recipient details. As I mentioned at the top, for display name, you could use a nickname. If you wanted the actual name on the account to go out within a wire or ACH, you can make these exactly the same as your display name, or you can input a different name here. So if you want to see, something as somebody's doing a DBA and you want that as their display name, but at their account, their parent company is listed as the account holder, then you can type in that here under wire or ACH name here as well. You can also add some additional fields if you'd like for your records as far as their address there. And then ACH ID, if we hover over the little question mark, it's going to let you know that the ACH ID is an accounting number that you can use to help you with your recipient lookup. So each recipient could have their own specific ACH ID, and you can populate that as well, and it will go out within the file. So once I have all my information here, if I just go ahead and add my wire name and ACH name here, I can scroll down to the bottom and I can click on Save Recipient. And now I will get a notification that that recipient has been saved. So I can close out, and then you'll see my test recipient that I just created now under the Recipients tab here. Moving down within our commercial tab here, domestic wires is going to live under commercial tabs as well. So as I said, as soon as you click on a payment type from commercial, it's going to automatically load up any templates that you have currently set up. So if I wanted to make a wire payment from a template, I can go ahead and click on Pay. Then it's going to load up my domestic wire payment template here. Because I had utilized a template, again, it's already going to have my account information selected of which account this is going to be sent from. So So then I can just select the date that I want this wire to process. It's going to pre-fill my recipient, and then I can just add how much I'm going to be paying that recipient here. And then if I scroll down under this optional information, the message to beneficiary, if there is an additional memo that you would like to send out with the wire for the beneficiary to see at their financial institution, you'll enter that in the message to beneficiary section here. And then again, I can either draft or I can approve that wire from the bottom of the screen here, and then that will schedule that to be drafted or approved. Additionally, under commercial is our ACH pass-through. So in our system now, we call that ACH send file. In the new system, it will be named ACH pass-through. So for those customers that utilize the send file option, you will now load up this ACH pass-through. Simple, just click on the import file, grab your ACH file from your computer. You can input a memo here if you would like as well. And then again, you can either draft or approve that send file, and then that payment will be sent through to us here at the bank for us to process. You'll notice international wires is also underneath the commercial tab. This is another enhancement within the new system for those customers that utilize our international wires system. Currently, you do have to log in through a different portal, but now we are going to be bringing that within your online banking. So you can click on the international wires and it will load up that screen for you directly here. Mobile authorizations at the bottom here. As I had noted, if your company utilizes dual approval and your approver wants to sign up to receive a mobile authorization so that the drafter can send you a quick message whenever they draft a transaction, you can sign into this mobile authorizations module here. You can select the transaction types that you are an approver for and want to get notified on. So you can select all, or you can select just a few. You can enter in then either your number or an email, and then that will pop up for the drafter when they draft that transaction there. And then, as I noted, this ACH returns and NOCs. So if there was an ACH transaction that you sent out to another bank and it was rejected and returned back to us, or if there was a notification of change, as I said previously, in our current system, you would get a notice and that would be under document delivery. Now this is going to live in the ACH returns and NOCs section here. So if we go ahead and click on that, ACH returns and NOCs are now going to live within our transaction risk management service, or Positive Pay. So it's going to load up that screen for you here. And then you can go to this ACH reporting files section here. And anytime you get a return or a notification of change, again, you will get a notice that will be emailed to you to let you know that one of those is available for you to review. So you'll go to the reporting files section here, and then those will be shown in this section here for you to download and view. And that wraps it up for our commercial tab. Positive Pay, a little bit of a change within Positive Pay as far as how this link is going to work. As soon as you click on Positive Pay here, I don't have this turned on for my demo program here, but as soon as you click on Positive Pay, the system will load up your check and ACH exceptions. So for those customers that utilize our fraud protection Positive Pay service, you'll be loaded directly into be able to view your exceptions. And then there is a link that you can click on, and it will get you to the entire positive pay system that we were just on under that ACH returns and NOCs. It'll bring you into the full system here, so then you can upload your checks and make exceptions from this screen if you'd like to as well. So nothing within the positive pay system is going to be changing with the migration here. It's just going to be that first positive pay screen. You'll be able to see your exceptions there. Let's go ahead and close that out. The reports feature, kind of as I noted back when we were talking about the home tab, this is a brand new module that we have created in our new system. You are now able to create reports here. So if you click on new report, there are going to be various reports that you can sign up for and select. So you can get ACH activity, balance activity, cash position, different things here, or a user-defined report, so you can create a custom report if you don't see exactly what you're looking for on any of these templates. As soon as you choose one of these, we'll just choose the manual one here. You'll get another screen. You can choose to share this report with other users within your company, or you could make this a private report that you yourself can view only. You'll enter the name of the report. You can then select the accounts that you want this report to run on. You can either select all, or you can click on the link and you can select specific accounts if you only want to see one account. It will ask you for the date range that you want this report to run on. So we'll have a template of a couple different things that you can choose from here, or you can select a custom date range from the bottom here. It's then going to ask you, how often do you want this report to run? If you want to set this up as a recurring report that runs every day or every week or every month, you can select that here. Or you can select on demand, and then from the main report screen, you can just schedule that report and it will run right away for you there. And because I chose the manual, I can select the account transaction types that I want to see. So if I go ahead and select by transaction type, I can click select all, or I can see none, or I can choose from a list of specific transaction codes utilizing this link here. And then it's going to show me all the transaction codes within the system. So I can select any of those that I want. So for this report, if I just want to see any type of credit that comes in the account, I can select that. And then I can create this report, or I can create and run right away, and it will run that report instantly, and it will pull up those transactions or whatever you have created this report to do. So if we go back to then our reports screen, anything that you do set up is going to show here. It's going to show you when the last run date was, and it will tell you the type of report that it is. And then you can either select to get a PDF, or you can get a CSV for the different types of reports. You'll notice I have a star listed on the left-hand side of this. This is going to correspond then with my home screen. So any reports that you set up that you want to see, you can click the star to make it a favorite. So then if I click back to my home tab here and go to the bottom, I can see that ACH origination report is listed out here. And I can click on my more actions, and I can download my PDF or a CSV directly from my home screen here. So that takes care of everything within that reports module here. Moving over to our online services. So this is where you're going to be able to get your e-statements if you're signed up for e-statements. You'll click on statements, select the account that you want. And then if you had any e-statements, the dates will show here that correspond to the particular statement date, and then the PDF type, and then you would just click on Get Statement here, and it would download that statement for that account that you have selected. If you're currently set up on paper statements and want to receive statements electronically, as soon as you click on an account that is selected as paper, you will get a pop-up notice and say that this statement is only a paper statement, and you can switch that. That's going to be under the settings section here. And down at the bottom, you'll see my statement delivery. So you'll notice that all of my accounts are now set up on e-statements. I can make any edits to this by clicking the pencil, and I could choose if I wanted that to be a paper statement or an e-statement from that edit section there. Under Online Services is our Alerts tab. So within Alerts, there are security alerts that are already set up within the system, or you can create custom alerts by clicking this New Alert button here. We did want to note the History Alert. So this is a new alert type that is not available within our current online banking. So if I load up this new History Alert here, what this is going to give me the option to do is if I'm waiting for a specific transaction to post to my account, I can create an alert for it. You can utilize either debit, credit. You can select a check number and input a specific check number. Select then the account that is going to be coming through on. And then you can select your delivery method of how you want to be notified when that particular transaction comes through. And then finally, description. So you can click on description. You can type in whatever description you want here, alphanumeric. And then again, select the account that that's going to be coming in on and your delivery method. And then you'll get that message after that posts to your account here. So that's a really good feature. I know a lot of people have been asking for some additional alert functionality within the system. So this new history alert is going to be very useful to a lot of our customers. Additionally, under online services is the stop payments. So if you need to place a stop payment on any checks, utilize the stop payment form here. Simple form of selecting your account and inputting the check information and then requesting a stop payment from the bottom of the screen here. And then finally, under online services is reordering business checks. If you'd like to utilize us to reorder your checks, you can go through this and it will link out to our vendor to order checks for you. The next tab over is the settings tab. So we've kind of talked about a couple of these already as far as homepage preferences and then our statement delivery. So starting from the top, we'll choose account preferences. So from the account preferences screen, this also gives us the option to search for accounts if you have multiples listed here. You can change the group name that those accounts are on. So on the home screen, when you go back there, it will show a different group name if you want to click and edit that. And then if you wanted to see additional information on your account and set up what that looks like or is named, you can click on the account here. I'll scroll down. So here, this online display name, that is in a sense the nickname. So you can click and edit the nickname of the account that you see on your home screen. Again, you can choose the account group. If you have multiple groups set up, you can switch the group that that account is in. If you don't want to see this account on your home screen, you can toggle that on and off here. It's going to give you a warning that's saying if you do hide this, you won't be able to see it. I want to click no on that one, but you will be able to toggle that on and off. And then when you go to your home screen, you won't be able to see that account until you go back to this settings screen here and turn it back on. And then you'll notice on the right-hand side here, you can select balances or different details to display. So you can select on the home screen what balance or detail is shown. You can select up to a maximum of 2 here. And then when I click back to my home screen, then you'll notice by default it shows me my available and my current balance. But if I selected one of those other options, it will show that here. I jump back to account preferences. I can move the order of my accounts around. So you'll notice the arrows on the right side of the screen. I can move the accounts up or down, and I can change the order of those accounts there as well. Additionally, under the settings, we kind of touched on home page preferences. This is where if we do build out some additional widgets that you will be able to turn those on and off, and that's going to be in that right-hand side widget pane. So we know that quick transfer is turned on. So when I was in my home screen, you saw that transfer now button. I can toggle that on and off if I don't want to see that. And then down below, we touched on the account list and making priority accounts show automatically on your home screen. You can toggle that option on and off. And then the favorite reports. If you don't want to see reports on your home screen, you can toggle that on and off there as well. Security preferences. So under the security preferences section here, you can change your password and you can change your secure delivery options. So as we noted with one-time PINs now being called secure access codes, if we choose the secure delivery option here, that's where you can change your phone numbers for that call me or text me option for your PIN numbers to approve transactions. Did want to highlight the accessibility settings within the settings menu here. For those that are sensitive to colors and different things like that, we can enable a high contrast mode that will turn off most of the colors, and it will make some of the pages easier to read for those users that are sensitive to different colors and contrast issues there. The profile page here. If we select the profile page, this is where you can edit your own personal information. This will not flow through to the core. This will not change the business information. This is solely your personal information that is shown within online banking. So you'll notice the name, email address, the mailing address, and then down at the bottom, the phone number information there. So if you want to change any of your information there, you can edit any of these fields and you could submit that profile. And then as I said, that will just change your personal settings within the system here. Users and user roles, I'm not going to necessarily touch on that. We did have a supervisor training yesterday, and we will have another supervisor training next week that does touch on users and user roles. So that is only an administrator or supervisor function that's going to be able to see that. And for those supervisors, that's where they're going to go to set up their user permissions and then add or delete users from the system. And then finally, the statement delivery, we touched on that, changing from paper or e-statements from that module there. The messages screen and message center. So if you remember back, when I talked about the transactions and asking questions on accounts or transactions, All of those messages are going to live in this message center here. So you can see those messages that are sent or received. And you can also create a brand new message utilizing this little pencil icon here. You can click on that and you can create a new message that's going to be sent to us here at the bank. You can ask us questions, you can do different things. It's a custom message form, so you can ask us any kind of things there, and that will then be routed to the proper department here at the bank. And then you'll notice on the left-hand side here, any one of your messages that you have created will be shown in this left-hand side pane, so you can click through those and view those easily, and it will show up on the right-hand side for you to see there. And then finally, the last tab that we're going to touch on is the Get Help section here. We do have a help center. So if you're working after hours or on the weekends or for whatever reason, client services is not available on a holiday or anything like that, but you need to get some questions answered, you can come to this help section here, and you can type in a search for different things, and then it will bring up a additional user guide with some walkthroughs for you to view there. Additionally, under the Get Help section is the locations. So if you click on that, it will route you out to our Macatawa Bank website, and it will show you our different branch locations along with their contact information there. The online banking FAQs, frequently asked questions, we are currently building those. So you can click on this online banking FAQs and see some frequently asked questions and get answers immediately for those questions from there. And then our safe banking tips, we will have some security and safe banking tips available for you to view from that link there as well. So that pretty much wraps up an overview of the system. I wanted to take a quick pause now and let you enter into the Q&A section if there are any questions that you have about the system, if there are things that you didn't see that you want me to touch on or highlight more. Please utilize that Q&A section. So I'm going to turn off my microphone here. Go ahead and ask any questions there, and we'll do our best to hit some highlights, from some of the most frequently asked questions that are coming in there. So go ahead and mute and give you guys a moment to ask those questions there. Okay, so we just got a message that people couldn't hear me. Issue with my microphone. So let me go back and touch on the things that we had talked about. So for the conversion dates, we'll mention those. Friday the 13th at 4 p.m., you will be able to go ahead and enter payments for ACH and wires up until that Friday at 4 p.m., like you normally would for our cutoff time. For those customers that utilize send file, as I mentioned, it's now called ACH pass-through. You still need to send us that transmittal form via email or fax to our transaction services department. So nothing has changed as far as that. The 16th is the start date for the new system. So Monday morning, the 16th, when you log in from our home screen, you will be routed to the new system here. Online services and stop payments. If you do need to place a stop payment on a check, online services is where you will go for that. For those customers that utilize Positive Pay to get additional reports on voided checks or canceled checks or paid checks, you will still be able to utilize the full Positive Pay system as it is now to get those reports. So that section has not changed there. Okay, and then I know I kind of touched on payroll a lot and I didn't really touch on collections. So if I go ahead and click on my ACH collections from the commercial tab here, again, you can see any templates that you had set up for collections. And then you can click on new payment here and you can start a new ACH collection here. So if your business does utilize collections, you will have that as an option to select. Similarly to ACH disbursements, you will have this SEC code now to choose from. So you can choose from collecting from a person would be PPD, collecting from a company will be CCD, and then enter your company entry description. You can choose the account that you want to pull those funds into, and then choose the effective date here. You can set up recurring transactions. So the recurrence schedule, if I click on that, so this is going to be for all transaction types, payroll, ACH disbursements, ACH collections. You can set up recurring. You'll see the options on the screen that you can choose from. And then you can set up how long you want these to recur until. So you can choose forever. You can select how many collections or disbursements, or you can select a date range here, and then you can set that as a recurring transaction. So then once I have my collection details of the accounts, then I can go down to this section here for my recipients. I can then choose my recipients from the list, or I can search from them here, and then enter the dollar amount that I'm going to be collecting from them, and then draft or approve at the bottom here. So we'll give you a couple more minutes to ask any additional questions here. So I'll go ahead and mute myself for a second and let you ask any last questions that you may have. Okay, we've had a couple questions in regards to the categories within this system. They are now going to be migrated into templates. So if you do have categories set up now, so maybe for like employees that have like an HSA disbursement that is separate from their regular pay, and you have different categories set up for that, when you go into the commercial section and go to set up like a disbursement here, your categories will be listed under this template section. And so you'll see the recipients that you have set up under that category. And then you can select to pay from that category, or what we now will call a template, directly from the payment screen here. Pre-notes, we did have a question on pre-notes, if those are going to be allowed. Yes, they will. You can turn those on after you select your recipient and enter your recipient information. You can choose to whether pre-note this particular person or not from the screen. So you can turn those on, and then you can filter whether or not it's going to be a pre-note. So since this is a $0 transaction here, it's going to send that out as a pre-note. And so those are available within the system there. All right. Any additional questions that anybody has? I've kind of seen those questions slow down. So any final observations or questions you have, go ahead and ask those now. I'll give you one last minute to do that. All right, well, thank you everybody for joining us for this user training. We will have this recording of the training. We will get that downloaded from Zoom here, and we will place that out on our website for you guys to go back and review anytime. So if there's things you want to go back and see, we will have that available. We will also have a user guide available, and we are also creating short video training clips that you can view as well. So if you just want a quick refresher on ACH or how to set up a user or different things like that within the system, we do have those short training videos that will be available when we go live. Thank you everybody again, and we look forward to launching the new system